Until everybody comes, we can have a chat maybe. So, Ranjit, I guess you are a student somewhere, right? BTech student. Are you here, Ranjit? Or am I not audible? Hello, Ram Prakash. Am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
Alright, so I guess he is not able to speak. So we can have a chat maybe for 2-3 minutes. Ram Prakash, what are you doing? I guess you are working somewhere, right?
Yes, I'm working in as a system integration company so we work with television channels.
Alright. So it's a good way to build connections. Maybe you will be able to help me someday. I don't know.
Sure, no problem.
And Vijaya is here. Hi, Vijaya. Would you like to introduce you? I know you, so she is.
Yeah.
Go on, come on. Hello. So Vijaya, you are not audible.
Hello.
Yes, you are audible now.
Yes, I'm Vijaya. And, I'm doing PhD at Department of Management Science, IIT Kanpur. I'm actually colleague of Shubham. So, yeah.
Thank you, Vijaya. And Ranjit, I guess he is shy, I guess. Hello, Ranjit, are you here?
Hello, Shubham. I am here.
So, would you like to say something about yourself?
Yeah. Okay. I'm Ranjit, currently pursuing second year of MTech in Embedded Systems at IIT Bangalore. And currently, I am in Bangalore as part of an internship at Aptiv Components India Private Limited, which is an automotive company, a tier 1 supplier.
So, do you have experience in programming, earlier experience in any other language, maybe not Python, or maybe in Python? I don't know.
My job mainly uses C and C++, like we write our own custom headers and all. But
Okay.
Python scripting is recently, like, new tasks are require Python knowledge. So I'm
Yes.
trying to get a hold of that through this course.
And so far, how is the experience for this course? Any feedback, maybe?
Experience is pretty good actually, but I can't really practice much due to my internship with due to long work hours and all.
Okay.
So that's one thing I have to improve. I need more practice.
Okay. So today's quiz will be a practice for everyone, I guess, whoever is present in this class. It is meant to cover everything what we have covered till lecture 6. So in
Okay.
lecture 6 at the end I also covered tuple. So I have included some questions of tuple also. I shouldn't have because I have not covered tuple very comprehensively, but still. So I guess I'll start. So it is 3:34. So I'll just revise tuple a bit and see how many people more join, and then we will go for the quiz. And then I was thinking of uh, discussing the solution of the quiz and then moving on to the part which we are I am prepared for today's class. All right. So for today's class actually, so in previous class, so before going to the previous class, in today's class I am thinking of covering tuples and sets. These two are another data structure. Sets is also a data structure in Python and tuple. And there is a one very important data structure in Python called dictionary, and we will talk about dictionary not today, maybe in the next class, which I'll inform you when it will be. All right. Yes, and all right. So in previous class we were talking about not this. Sorry. Yeah. So we were talking about tuples, and we said that tuples are immutable objects, and it is very similar to list. But and it is a collection of objects. Yes. So these objects can be of the similar types and it may not be of similar types. So we talked about this and we will see it again. Let me just zoom it. Yes. You are not audible. Yes. Could you repeat?
Your screen is not visible.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Thank you for informing me. Is it visible now?
Yes.
Thank you. So yeah, so we talked about how to create a tuple. An empty tuple can be created using this parenthesis, and it can be of any data type. So I had given this integers, and we checked that t is a tuple. Here also, if you will check, it will be a tuple. So this is just from our previous class. Brief introduction of tuple. We'll talk about tuple more in today's class later on. All right. And then we saw that if you want to put one element in the tuple and you initialize the tuple like this, t is equals to 2 inside the brackets, you will see that it is not a tuple because it, it Python thinks this as an expression, mathematical expression, so it just evaluates 2 and nothing else, so it becomes integer. All right, similarly in this case, if it was an integer, so you wanted to give an integer, say anything, my name, and when you check, it will become a string. So it is not taking as tuple. So what you have to do to make Python understand it is a tuple, you have to give a comma if you want to give single element in the tuple. In that case, Python will understand, okay, this is not any other data type, but it is a tuple. So this comma is very important when you want to initialize a tuple. So tuple can have multiple data types inside it. So I have given here integer, string, and a list. So list can also be inside a tuple, and tuples can also be inside tuple. So I have not given here one example. Let me give one example. Suppose I have this only, and to this I am saying that it also has a tuple, say 9 comma 3 comma 4. So this will also be a tuples. So tuples can have other data types inside it, and it can also be a string. So I have seen this, and yeah, that's it. And I told you that if you want to give one element inside the tuple, you have to give a comma, otherwise it will become the data type which the expression evaluates to. All right, and we have not talked about this immutability of strings. All right. So we have not talked about the immutability of not string, tuples. So we will talk about immutability. What does it mean? So I have stated that they cannot be altered. That means it is immutable, and we'll see what it means when we are saying that it cannot be altered. All right. Now, how can we access elements inside a tuple? So see, list and tuples are ordered objects in Python. So they have index. All right. So when we will move on to sets and dictionaries, you will see that those are unordered objects in Python. So tuples are ordered objects. So this will be in the 0th position, the first element, the second element first, the third element second, and so on. So this is a tuple, and this is a list. You see what I have done here is, what did I do? List 1 is this list, and then I said t is this list. Okay, what I'm doing over here is I'm saying that this list can also be the first element of the tuple. So I'm assigning t a tuple which has a element which is a list. All right, and if we want to okay, let me delete this. This is not necessary here. All right, so I'll move from here. So if this is the tuple, Shubham, Raj, Shonu, and Arjun, and we check that these 4 characters are there, or not characters, elements are there in this tuple, and we get the first element. How? Because this is the 0th position, the element is in 0th position, and it can be obtained by t box bracket 0. We have seen this in string, and we have also seen this in list. So we can get the first element. Similarly, the last element will either be 0, 1, 2, 3, or it can be indexed as -1. So t -1 is also can be grabbed. All right, and similar to indexing, we can also do slicing, which we have seen in list. So not list, we have seen in yeah, we have seen in list also, and we have seen it in string as well. So it starts with 1, so this is 1, and it goes up to 3 minus 1, so it goes up to so we can do that. So up till this we had discussed about tuples in the previous class. I guess there are no more people. So let us do the quiz first, and then we'll move on because the quiz will take some time. Any questions before we start the quiz? In anything, not just in previous class or any other class. Any questions? All right, so I am posting the link of, let me stop sharing. So I am posting the link of this quiz in the group, and the quiz is of 50 marks. Sorry, not 50 marks. It is not graded, so I have not given any marks in this quiz. It is of 50 minutes, so you have to complete it in 50 minutes. All right. It has actually 16 plus 4, 20 questions. 4 of them are MCQ questions, and the 16 are actually you have to enter the answer. So it will require a little bit of thinking. So don't just write the answer, just think about what it is, how it can be different from what you are thinking. So you may have to have um, think about how the solution is developing. All right, so it is a little bit tricky questions. Those questions are not from I have not made that questions, I have taken it from somewhere. So I guess those are very good questions, so it will provoke your thinking. I am just posting it in the group, and you can start solving it. So it is in a Google form. You just open the Google form, and you have to have signed in using Google email ID for answering the questions in the quiz. All right, so just do it. I'll mute myself. If you want to speak and you have any doubt, you can unmute yourself and speak. If in case you are facing any difficulty in accessing the quiz. So just tell me if you are attempting the quiz or not, because I'll wait for 1 hour, and in case you are not doing it, then it will be a waste of time. So I guess you are. Oh, okay. And Ranjit, will you attempt the quiz right now?
Yeah, I'll start now.
Okay, and Vijaya?
Yes, I
hope
will do.
you will.
Mm.
Okay, so
Yes,
I'm
sir.
muting myself. So it is 3:42. I guess I'll just inform you when 50 minutes is over. All right. Thank you.
Where we will get the quiz, Shubham?
All right. You are not in the group, na? Send the link to you separately. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
send.
Right.
Yeah.
I've sent it in WhatsApp. Please check.
Okay.
Hello Pratibha. So I have given the link for the quiz in the group. Have you seen the link? Are you attempting the quiz now?
Sir, can I take in 10 minutes? Sir, actually, I'm on the way to house.
All right, no problem.
So actually, I'm traveling, so I'm just connected my phone.
All right, all right. No problem. So I have given the link. Whenever you are free, attempt it. But in today's
Yes,
class,
sir.
I'll
I'll
discuss
reach
the
you.
solution.
Yes, sir.
Before seeing the solution, you should attempt it.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, Shubham.
Yes.
I am on a question. It looks a little bit difficult for me. I mean, shall I write a program and execute the program somewhere and type the result, or I should calculate on my mind?
I don't want you to execute the program and write the answer because that is what
Okay,
the quiz is about.
fine, fine.
The quiz.
So far, so far, whatever I think I have done, but this question 9, it looks like a little bit difficult for me. So I thought it. Okay, anyway, I'll give whatever I
What you
think
can
it
do,
is the answer. Hmm.
but what you can do is, if you want to check, don't just exactly copy this and paste it in the Python interpreter. You just check whatever doubt you have. So in that way, you will be solving it, but
Okay, okay,
taking help
understood.
of the tool like that.
Okay,
All right.
okay, okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So should I go to WhatsApp for the link?
Okay. So you don't have the link. Yes, I have posted it in WhatsApp group.
Yes.
You are in the WhatsApp group, right?
Yes, sir.
So tell me if you could find the link.
Yes, sir. I just... Yeah, got it, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Are the questions too difficult?
Yes, for me it's a little bit difficult. It requires some work to understand like how this mainly the function calls from one function to other function.
Right.
That is technical.
All right. Actually, 50 minutes is over, so you can take 10 more minutes. And Pratibha, I guess you will require a little more time, so I am waiting for some time more. So if you complete, then you can inform me here. So please try to submit by 4:42. It's 4:32 now. Pratibha, you can take a little more time.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So please try to submit. Then I'll move on to discussing the solutions of the quiz. I understand that some of the questions are a little tricky, so we will see how the logic goes.
I'm done only with question number 14. Should I submit now? Or shall I try for 15 and 16?
So do you want to do 14? I can wait for 2 minutes more, but otherwise I have to discuss the solution. It may get time. If you want to do it, do it. I'll give you 2 more minutes because these are not graded quiz, so it doesn't matter. Okay.
Okay.
But don't take more than 2-3 minutes. Right? So Pratibha, in which question are you in now? Pratibha, are you here?
Yes, sir. Sixth one, sir.
Okay. So you also have to catch up. All right. So
Yes.
what I will do is I'll ask Ram Prakash to at least submit by 4:46, and I'll start discussing the solution. All right. And what you can do is you can take a choice. If you want to follow along, you can follow along. Otherwise, you want to keep the phone aside or laptop aside and solve it, and later come back and see the solution. It's up to you, Pratibha. All right.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
For the last question, I cannot recall the class, so I did not attempt. I just submitted without that last question.
No problem. All right. So four solutions I have. Dr. Kalyanvani has also submitted. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. So I'll just share my screen. And I know the questions were not very easy. So it's all right if you couldn't do it. So we'll start here itself. So the first question for this was, so these MCQs were very easy, I guess. It will not be difficult for you. I hope so. So I'll check what you have done. So you can unmute yourself if you want. So you see these expressions when you do assignment, it always goes from right to left, and in assignment there is one rule that on the left hand side it should be a variable name, and you cannot have an expression on the left hand side of assignment operator. So this is a sorry, so I should actually yes. So this is an expression x plus y, and in on the left hand side, so this is not a valid assignment, so this is also not a valid assignment. Over here you see 2, actually 2 is not a variable name, so that's why it will not be a valid Python expression. So xy can be a variable name, and hence this will be the answer. All right, and the thing is, we have done this example in class. If you could remember, the same example, same options were there, and we did this example in class, I guess. As far as I can remember. All right. So which of the following data type is mutable? So int is not mutable, float is not, string is not, list is mutable, tuples we have not seen yet, but I told you that tuples are immutable. So list is only mutable here, although it is a multiple. I have given multiple solutions, but only one solution is correct in this. So list is only mutable here. What does the length function return when used on an empty list? So there is no element in an empty list. In that case, if you try to find what is the length of an empty list, so it will return 0, and you can check that over here. All right. So in the questions you shouldn't do that, but I'm saying that if you do that, then you will see that it is 0 and not none type. All right, because empty list contains no element, and no element means 0 elements are there in the list. That's why it returns 0 and not none. All right. Which data type is used to represent single character in Python? This, if you have come from other languages like C and Java, you might be tempted to select char, but there is no such data type as char in Python. So it will be a string. Either it is a single character or multiple characters. It will be a string and not char. All right. So I guess Ranjit might have selected character and not string. So it will be string.
Yeah, definitely did that.
Yes. Oh, all right. So now we will move on to this. I'll delete this. So this is the second question, and these are this question is very simple actually. So you see what we are doing is we have discussed this. So if you remember so I have not used this term aliasing. So when I have used the term pointing. So you see 10 is stored in the memory, and apple points to 10, banana points to 5, and total fruit points to apple plus banana, which has a value of 10 plus 5, 15. So this will print 15. Banana will be incremented by 3, it will be 8. So this has been executed. Now print apple, it will be 10, banana will become 8. But since we have not again written this expression, and total fruits was already pointing to 15, and we have not changed total fruit, only banana got changed. That is why total fruits value is 15. So if you want to visualize what is happening, you can take this code to Python tutor, and then you will able to see what is happening. All right. So if you are finding it difficult to understand, please use Python tutor after the class. All right. So the thing is, what we have done is we have not evaluated this expression again after changing the value of banana. That is why total fruits value is 15 and not the increased value, that will be 18. All right. So this is also not very difficult. You have a variable called fruit, and this is a concatenation. So it is b plus is actually concatenation, and an star 2, it will repeat an twice. So b an, and then a will be concatenated, and you will get banana. All right. Over here, this is a question on operators, specifically Boolean operators and expression, I guess. Yes, expression is also there. You see the score value is 85 and 92, and this expression checks if score 1 is less than score 2, which is correct here, and it will evaluate to true. So high score will actually have the value of true. All right. And when you print this, it will be whatever is there in the inverted commas. There will be a space. If you have not written space, it is not incorrect, but you should remember, whenever you give a comma and it passes as an argument to Python function, it adds space in between the two arguments. All right. So space is being added, and then whatever the value of high score is, over here it is true, then true will be printed. Second is this past math is true, past science is false. When you have AND operator, so true and false is false, so promoted is false, and here we will have false. All right. So I guess this is not difficult. If you have doubt, you can stop me and ask. All right. I'm just going with my flow. as I am understanding. In case I'm not able to express myself, please stop me. All right, you see over here, there is a little bit trick in this question. You see, first total is 0, and this iterator, which is number, I have not used this term iterator, but this is actually an iterator iterating over an iterable object. So since I have used these three terms, I'll tell you. So I have used three terms: iterator, iterable, and iteration. All right. So iterator is the object which is iterating. So this is iterator. This variable is an iterator. Iterable is the object in which iteration is being performed. So you see, range actually returns an iterable object, and iteration is the process of iterating. All right. So these three terms are there. So this number, this variable number has the first value of 3 and total evaluates to 3 first. Now you see, if total equals to 5, it is not number equals to 5. If in your mind you would have thought that number equals to 5, and in second iteration, because it is 3 and step is 2, it will go to 5, and in that case you might think that this will evaluate to true, but it is not, because total, the expression is total equal to 5. So in the first iteration total will be 3. In the second iteration, so this will not be evaluated, so break will not be executed, and total will again be incremented to 1. So 3 plus 1 4, and then 4 plus 5 will be added, because in next iteration number will be 5. So 4 plus 5, and so on. If you do it, you will check that this statement will never be executed, because total will never be equal to 5. So this is one important thing to note in this problem. All right. So this is not evaluated. Once you have understood that break statement will never be evaluated, then it is just mathematical task to calculate what will be the value of totals. If you do that, it is a laborious task, not a tedious, maybe you can say. It is a tedious task. If you do that, it will evaluate to 28, and number will be 9 and not 11, because you see, this is the value of stop, but range doesn't go to the last value of stop, it goes to -1. It will go to 10, and when you skip one step and go to the other with step of 2, so 2 3 5 7 9, and it will not go to 11, because the end value is 10, so number will be 9. All right. So this is just the important part in this question, is if when this will be evaluated. All right, if at all it will be evaluated or not. The sixth question we have here, we have so in this question I saw that few of them have done correctly and few of them has not. All right, so you have to see what is happening. You see, this is the string and this is a empty string, and we are trying to, so I have written a comment here, I shouldn't have written it, it is my mistake. So if you have seen this comment, that you would have written it correctly. All right, so you see, what it is doing is it is taking individual characters from this string, which is P, Y, T. It will take that. Now this empty string, which is initially empty, new string which is initially empty, it is adding, not adding, concatenating these characters in front of the itself, in front of itself. So initially it will just add capital P, and this value will be capital P. In the second iteration, char will be Y, and Y will be concatenated in front of P. And in the subsequent iteration, T will be added in front of Py, H will be added in front of Pyt, and so on, and therefore it will be reversed. So I have written a comment which should not have, I have not written. All right. So this is my error. So you see question number 7. So there are two words, and this question is a little bit tedious, I would say, not difficult. All right, it is tedious, and because of that you might have done it incorrectly. So these are not very conceptually demanding questions, but these are time demanding questions. All right, so you have to see what is happening. You see, you have two strings, word 1 and word 2. The first is apple and the third is pineapple. So for each word in word 1, this for loop is doing, for each word in word. So you imagine what is happening. It is taking this word, first character of that, in the first iteration, it is taking first character of that string and then iterating over word 2. So for each character, for A, it will iterate over all the characters. For second iteration, when it has p, it will iterate over all the characters individually, all right, the second for loop. Then in the third iteration, this will be there, letter 1 will be this second p, and it will iterate over all the characters in pineapple. This is what you have to realize when we have two for loops. When we have two for loops, this is what happens, all right. So for this, iterate over pineapple. For first p, iterate over pineapple. For third p, iterate over pineapple, and this is what it will happen. Now what it will check? It will check if letter 1 is same as letter 2. If that is so, it will print and break. This is what makes it tricky. When will it break? So that is what you have to realize. You see, when you are at A and you are checking in this, what you are checking, if A is there in pineapple or not. That is what it is doing actually. It is checking if the letter on the first for loop is same as the letter in the second for loop. So you see this A is there, so it will print common letter A and it will break. As soon as we find the letter in the second word, it will break. Now it will go to P, and you see P is there in the first character itself in the second word. So it will print that common letter P and it will break. It will not iterate along because break was encountered. Now it will take second P in apple, and then again it will check if that P is there in pineapple or not. It will encounter P in the first iteration itself in the second for loop, and then it will print common letter P, and then it will break. All right. Now L will be encountered in the first for loop, and it will iterate over pineapple in the second for loop. Now it will check if L is there. L is actually there. Now it will print L and it will break. So it will not move to E, and it doesn't matter, by the way, but it will not move to E. You should recognize this fact that it will not move to E. And then when it encounters E, it will iterate over pineapple, and you see it will encounter E here itself. So it will not move on to the other values after E because break is encountered, and then these two for loops are completed. All right. So you have A, P, P, L, E. Now in second question, so second question of this, I have not written break. So what it will do is, it will take the first character of the first word and iterate over all the characters in the second string. It will not break even, so it will not break even if it has encountered the first occurrence of that word. So what do I mean by this? You see, A is there. It will check if A is there or not in pineapple. Yes, it is there. It will print A, but it will not break. It will check again. So this will be checked, this will be checked, this will be checked, and so on. For this P, for second P in apple, it will check, yes, it has been encountered, so it will print, but it will not break because no break statement is there. So it will move on. So it will go to this and check, it will go to this and check, and you see two more P's are there. So for first P in pineapple, there are for first P in apple, there are 3 P's in pineapple. So you see, you will have 3 P's. And for second P in apple, there are 3 more P's in pineapple. So there will be 6 in total. 6 P's will be there. Now L is 1 in both, so L will be encountered one time. And you see, in word 1, when you are at E in the first for loop, the second for loop is checking, and pineapple there are 2 E's, so it will be encountered over here and it will be encountered over here, and that is why we are getting this output. All right, so any doubt here? So this was a little bit laborious, I guess, maybe tricky as well. Any doubt here? All right. So for this question, we were talking about this when we had seen this actually. This is actually passing function as arguments. And I don't know if this is there in other languages. Can Ranjit confirm? Can we pass functions as arguments to other functions in other language? C or Java? Ma'am, Kalyani ma'am, can we pass functions to other functions as argument in C or C++? Maybe?
I'm not so I'm not aware of it. In Python only I'm seeing it.
Okay.
In C language I'm not right.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. So we have 4 functions. We will see the functions as we encounter. So I'm not discussing the functions now. All right. So I have a variable result1, which is calling apply operation. So we will go to apply operation, and it has 3 arguments. So the first argument here, it will have operation named as operation, and the second is x, and the third is y. So it will pass add to it, to the first operation. Sorry, not first operation, first argument. It will pass 5 to the second argument and 3 to the third argument. And what it will do, it will return this. So operation is add. So in place of operation, add will come. All right. And in place of x, 5 will come, and in place of y, 3 will come. You see, before returning, it has to evaluate what is this. And what has this been evaluated to? Now it has been evaluated to add 3, 5, and add 3, 5 is actually a function called to the function add. So it will go to, the control will go to this function add, and it will pass 5 and 3. What it will return? 5 plus 3. It will return over here, it will return 5 plus 3, which is 8, and that 8 comes back here. That 8 comes back here, and then it will return 8. So this function call will be evaluated to 8. So if you want to visualize what is happening, you can take this to Python tutor, and it will be very, very clear of what is happening. Similarly, when you do subtract, so in place of operation, there will be subtract 10, 4. It will go to subtract, and it will pass 10, 4, and 10 minus 4 will be returned by subtract function. It will come back to this, and it will be evaluated to 6. This will return 6 over here, and result 2 will be 6. All right. Similarly, when you have multiply, so you see, when you pass multiply in operation, this will be evaluated to multiply, and x will be 10 and y will be 4. Now you come here. Now you see, you have encountered y here also and here also, but you don't need to bother because these two are two scopes. The first is apply operation function scope, and the second is multiply function scope. So it will not interact with one another. It will just evaluate y is equals to, okay, I should have written multiply, and this is an error. All right, so let it be.
Anyway, whatever we change, there is no return,
Yeah,
right?
I know. Yes, you are correct. But since it is multiply, I should have given a multiply there. All right, so there is no return to this function. So what it will return? It will return none. So result 3. So not here, sorry. So when it will return none, it will come over here, and this expression will evaluate to none, and then this function apply operation returns none, and this expression will evaluate to none, and that is why we are getting 8, 6, and none. All right. So this is okay. Ram Prakash was facing a difficulty in this.
Yes, I did.
All right. Anyone else? Any difficulty in this function calls? All right. So we'll move on to this greet message. And I saw Ma'am Kalyavani ma'am had an error in this actually. So what is happening is, you see, there is a function over here, and we are not going into the function. It has been defined, and I hope there is no syntax error. So we are just moving on. All right. Now we have a variable called message, and it has been it is getting a it is calling actually the right hand side of the assignment operator is a function call. So what it is doing, it is passing 2 arguments to the function greet. The first is whatever this is, and the second is whatever this is. You see, in the last class as well as before beginning this class, we talked about this. When you when you write anything in parenthesis and there is no comma, then it will take the data type of whatever inside it. So this will actually be, this parenthesis, this will actually be a string and not a tuple. All right. So name will be just Arjun. It will not be tuple. Now this message, this is actually a tuple because a comma is given. So how are you, comma, and it is enclosed in a bracket. It will actually be a tuple, and it will pass to this function. So over here, name is actually a string and message is actually tuple. All right. Now when I say greeting, name 0. So sorry, since name is a string, it will do the indexing, and it will take the first character of this string, which is capital A. All right. And this message is actually a tuple, so it will take the first element of this tuple. So what is the first element of this tuple? Why first? Because this is 0, that is why it will be first. So it will take this whole, how are you? All right. So this is a string. Why? Because a is a character and there is no character data type in Python. So it will be a string plus space says whatever it is plus this is also a string, how are you? All right. So concatenation will be done and the greeting will be evaluated to a says hello, sorry, how are you? All right. And return passes a tuple. You see, this is not a string, this is a tuple. The first element of this tuple is hello, and the second element of the tuple is also a string, which is a says how are you? All right. So this is returned. So what is returned? A tuple is returned. And over here, a very good concept I have to tell you. Before that, let us see what is the solution. All right. So when you say return this, so this will return a tuple. And you see, when you print this message, it will not print a string, it will print a tuple. And the output of this, you see, it is a tuple with brackets. And the first element is hello, and the second element is whatever this is. All right. And when you check the type of this message, this is not a string, it is a tuple. So if you have written tuple also, then it is fine. So you shouldn't have, I shouldn't have expect you to write this whatever class tuple. All right, because we have not discussed any of that. Now one very important thing to realize with this code is that you see return actually returns only one object to whoever called it. But when you use tuple, you see you can return more than one object using return. All right. So in this way you can return more than one object to whoever called it. Now over here only, so let me do one thing. I'll show you one more way to extract it. You see, I'll just copy and paste it. And since this is returning a tuple, you can unpack the tuple. Yes.
I have a query. So how this greet function can return a tuple? Because because the concatenation can work only on the characters, right? In the
Yes.
string. So the
So
greeting equal to name 0 says message. I mean, all of these are strings along, right? Name
Yes.
says message. So the greeting is also a type of string, right?
It is a string. It is not type. It is a string. All
Okay.
right.
So then the return is also hello is also a string. Then greeting is also a string, right?
Yes. Yes. Hello is also a string. Greeting is also a string. Now, what is your doubt? You see?
No, when you use it as a return is tuple.
Yes. Why is it a tuple? You see, just let me write one more line. So r is equals to, and I'm saying whatever r is, this is r, and I'll say return r. Now you tell me what is r? Is it a string or a tuple?
Tuple.
Right. So in place of r, we had just written the expression of r, or whatever the sign, whatever it is. I have in place of r, I had written that.
Okay. Okay.
Any more doubt?
No. Okay. Because I thought the parenthesis on the return
is not working similar to print. You were thinking that it will be a print and it will just add a space in between and
yes.
no, but it is not a print, it is return function.
Okay.
All right. So what I was saying is I forgot. Yes. So I was saying unpacking of tuple. We have not talked about this. We will see. So you see, this greet actually returns a tuple. All right. And when you, if you want to unpack the tuple, you can do in the assignment itself. So assignment operator supports this also. So you see, you can just say message 1 comma message 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 2. All right. And in place of this type, I'll just say message 2 and message 1. Now when you, sorry, no space will be here. So when you do this, what will happen is this is actually a tuple. All right. And we have in the assignment operator written this comma this. So what it will do is it will assign the first element of the tuple to message 1 and the second element of the tuple to message 2. And one word of caution here, you should actually know what is the size of this tuple. If in the case this tuple had 3 elements and you are trying to assign it to 2, then it will give an error. All right. So you should actually know what is the return. So you are getting the return, how many elements are there in the tuple. In that case, you see you have taken hello, which is the first element of the tuple, to message 1 and the greeting to message 2. All right. So this is how you can extract tuple in the assignment itself. Now we'll move on to question 11. Any doubt in question 10 again? So Pratibha, did you complete the quiz or are you following along with me? I don't know what you are doing. So are you here?
Sir, actually, I have 2 more questions, sir.
All right. So you are just listening to my solutions and
No, sir. But I'm not copying.
All right. All right. So you see in question number 11, it is very easy, I guess. This is the concept of scopes. So there is a global scope and there is a function scope. All right. So when you set x is equals to 10 and you have a function, we will not go to the function because it is just defining a function and the function is not being evaluated. So we know that there is some function called change x value. But when you call that function, then we will go to the function and see what the function is returning. So we'll go to the function and we'll see that it takes x, whatever the value of x is, and you see we have 2x in the global scope as well as in the local scope or that function scope, and in that we are changing the value of x to 3 times of x. Now it is 10, so it will become 30 and it will return 30. Now over here there is no variable that is being assigned the return value, so it will just, the function will be evaluated and it will return, but we are not doing anything with the return value. Now when you say print x, it will not print the value of x which was there in the function because the scope of that function is over and the value of x which was in the function call is erased. In the global scope, the value of x is 10, therefore the print will return x. So let me just show this using Python tutor. I know this is simple, but I just wanted to do it. So we'll go and check what it is doing. So I'll just edit this and visualize execution. So you see when we have global frame, so over here this is, so green is just saying that it has been evaluated just now and the red will be evaluated next. So x is 10, there is some function and it has some it has something, but we'll not worry about what it is until and unless we encounter a function call. So now we are encountering a function call, so there will be a function scope. So this is a global scope. We'll have a function scope which is created over here and x is passed 10. So this x which is inside the function has a value of 10. Why? Because we have passed the value of 10 to that x, and this x is different because those two are in different scopes. Now we are going inside the function and changing the value of x. So this x is changed to 30 and the return value of that function is 30. We are returning it, but we are not doing anything with the return value, so it has been erased in the memory. And when we are printing x, you see the function scope is erased, so the value of x in the global scope is 10, therefore we are getting the print value as 10. All right, it is simple, it is not difficult. What is the quiz? Yes. Now question number 12. So this is a little tricky question, not difficult but tricky. All right, we have a list called my list which has elements 1, so these are string 1 2, this is integer, 4 is a string and 0 is an integer. All right, and we have some function, we'll not worry about that function. We'll just go to the next line which says that it actually has a function call to that function. Now we'll go to that function. What is being passed? This original list, my list, is being passed to it. All right, so we have ARR as this list now. All right, now you see we have talked about this, that this ARR will not have a separate list, it will point to the same list. So let us do in Python tutor. Sorry. Yes, so this is my list, it is pointing to a list object in memory, there is some function. Now the function call is being made and my list is passed to ARR. You see ARR will actually point to that list. There is no new list creation. All right. So if you change this list, my list will also change and ARR will also change. All right. So let me go back. What it is doing is it is iterating over this list ARR. So first it is taking ONE, then it is taking TOW and so on. Whenever it encounters 0, so it will come over here and it encounters 0 because 0 is there in the list. So this will evaluate to true. Now when this evaluates to true, then ARR of I, mind you, ARR of I is 0. Sorry. So what is I? I is actually 0. So ARR of 0 will become 0. So this value will change because this is the 0th element of the list. And you see you are changing ARR, but my list will also change because in the memory there is only one list, not two lists. So if you change this, my list will also change, ARR will also change. All right. So the first element has become this string 0. And when you encounter 3, which has been encountered over here, so first actually this will change, and so first this will be evaluated because you are iterating over the list. So this will check, and it will check this. So initially this will be checked. So when I is equals to 3, what it will do is ARR 2 will be 7. So you see I'm not saying ARR I, I'm saying ARR 2. So what is 2? It is 0, 1, 2. So it is taking this and then changing it to 7. So over here I'm getting 7. All right. Now when we are printing new list, so new list is also changed. So what is new list actually? So the return value of this is new list, and what is being returned, ARR is returned. So new list will be this, and you see my list is also changed because we are changing the same object in memory. In question number 13, we are making, so it is the same question what is there in question number 12, but the change is we are copying the list. All right, so you can just visualize this in Python tutor for better understanding. You see it is the same code, just one line is changed. This is my list, a function call, it is pointing to the, so ARR1 is pointing to the same list, but what I am doing is I am iterating over ARR and not ARR1. So a new list is being created and we are cloning the list. So I have not used the term, I guess I forgot to use this term. It is actually cloning. This is saying that clone this list. Right, so it will be cloned, and you see one new list is created and ARR is pointing to that list. All right, and every evaluation whatever it is done in ARR. So ARR is changing and not ARR1. All right, so every evaluation is done in ARR and the return value is ARR. So this is returned and this has not been changed. So this is same as what was there initially. So when you print, you will get this one and then you will get this one. All right. So I have done it quickly. I hope it was you could have understood this. Any doubt? All right. So this one is I don't know what to say. Is it difficult or tricky? I guess both. All right. It is difficult as well as tricky. So you have some list. This is L1, L2, L3, L4, L5. All right. You see, we are just assigning some values to L1, L2, L3, and L5, but L4 is actually a operator plus, which actually appends to list. All right. So it's not append. Should I use the word append? No, I guess extend the list. So all right. So it just adds the element to the list and make a new list. I don't know what should I call it. So what L4 will be evaluated to? It will have the first element as sa and the second element as ray. All right, and it will be one list. So let me just break this and you will be able to see. So when you break this and you print L4, you see L4 is actually sa and ray. So this is one list and not a list of lists. All right, so L4 is actually this. Now L5 we have seen. Now you see we are saying L3 dot extend L4. Now if you remember, extend actually adds individual elements of the list to the list which is there in front of dot. So what is this? L3 dot extend L4. So let me break this, sorry, and we'll say L3 sorry, L3, you see L3 will be actually, so it was L3 was ga and ma, so it is ga and ma, and we have added or extended, we have used extend function and added the elements sa and re to the list. So L3 is changed. You see, when you use extend, the original list is changed. So you have ga, ma, sa, re as L3. All right, so let me break this as well. Now when you say sorted L3, sorted L3 actually returns a list which is sorted, but L3 is unchanged. All right, so when you check this, you see it is returning sorted version of L3. So it is just changing it in alphabetical order, but L3 is unchanged. L3 is unchanged. When you check L3, because sorted does not change the list. Instead of sorted, if you have used L3 dot sort, then L3 would have changed. All right, but we are not using L3 dot sorted, we are using L3 sorted L3. Now we are del is actually deleting an element of the list if you are saying bracket 0. So the first element will be deleted, it will only have ma, sa, re. And when we say append, so append and extend is little bit different. When you say append, it will just add whatever inside the append is as an element to the list to which it is called. All right, so L3 will, so we will just break this again. So it is here. So you see this was L3 after deleting the first element. Now we are saying append L5. So L5 is actually a list and we are adding whole L5 to the next element of L3. All right, so there is slight difference between extend and append, and you should remember what is the difference. All right, so is this all right? So I guess Ram Prakash was facing difficulty in this question 14.
Yes, yes.
I'll just make this one question. Now question number 15, and Pratibha, have you submitted the quiz?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you see, you have to list menu 1 and menu 2, which is biryani, naan, samosa and curry. And I'm saying lunch is equals to menu. And when you do that, there will only be one list biryani and naan in the memory and one list samosa and curry. But lunch will point to the same list biryani and naan, but it will not create a new list in the memory because we are just saying equal to. So it is not cloning actually. All right. Now when you say menu dot append gulab jamun, so it adds this to the next element of menu 1, but not but since lunch is also pointing to the same list in memory, so lunch will also be changed. So when you have lunch over here, so lunch will also have biryani, naan and gulab jamun. Now you're saying lunch dot extend menu. Again, extend is used, not append. So when extend is used, it will add individual elements to the list which is in front of it. So you have actually biryani, naan and gulab jamun, and then samosa will be there and curry will be there. So this will not be added as a list. It will added individual element by element. All right. So this is what is getting printed. And overall, all this concept is just this. So you have assigned this list to list 1, this list to list 2, and when you are doing it, there are two separate lists in memory, but list 3 will point to the list which is there in list 1. All right, so I did not clearly mention what is there, so you can visualize it. Just check. I guess it is easy to understand, but I want to do this. You see list 1 is pointing to this object and list 2 is pointing to another object in memory. Those two have same element, doesn't matter, but those two are different lists. But list 3 is pointing to actually whatever list 1 is pointing at. Now when you check ID, so ID just says the memory location ID. All right, so list 1 and list 2, so you see list 1 is pointing to separate list and list 2 is pointing to separate list, so this will evaluate to false. You see it is false. Now list 1 and list 3, so actually list 1 and list 3 are pointing to the same list, so it will evaluate to true, and list 3 and list 2. So list 3 and list 2 are pointing to separate list, and therefore it will be false. All right. So this is all for the quiz. So we have exhausted 2 hours, and I'll not proceed further today. Any question, suggestion, doubt, anything?
Sir, list like there are same elements also, it will point to different memory, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay, sir.
yes. All right, then I'll just take the attendance. So I see Ranjit here. Okay, this is assignment. I see Ranjit over here. So the date today is 14th. Ram Prakash is here. Vijaya is here. Pratibha is here. And Kalyavani ma'am is here. All right. I have marked everyone, I guess. So actually I wanted to have some feedback on the quiz questions. How was it?
It was interesting to try. It's
Alright.
good.
All right. So I wanted to discuss the questions of assignments also. So should I do that tomorrow or later on? Because I saw the assignment submission. It is not perfect. So there are some doubts and things I wanted to clarify. Should I do that in the next class or later on?
Later on will be better.
All right. Well, thank you for joining. I hope others, whoever has registered for this course, is also following the course. I don't know. So thank you for joining. We will, one more thing. So I guess tomorrow I'll not keep a class. I'll keep a class on Monday. I'll just mail whatever is there, but the timing will be 6 p.m. I know this 3:30 is not a correct timing, but today I had some plans decided. That's why I kept it at 3:30. So either a class will be there in tomorrow or Monday, but it will be from 6 p.m. and most probably it will be on Monday. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.